Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is March 21st, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see the snow caps here in Nevada, some of the marine layer bouncing around the coastal areas, including Southern California. And then we got our next frontal system out here. It's going to be arriving Friday morning, pushing down the state, including the Bay Area by Friday afternoon and evening, ushering in a cooler air mass with thunderstorm potential. We got some winter storm watches in effect, and it looks like we have an active extended forecast. We'll take a look at those details in the weather models as we go through the video here this morning. 6-hour rainfall amounts. Check it out. Eureka. Up towards 0.4 of an inch, Crescent City over 1/2 inch, Shelter Cove. So this front's going to pack a bit of a punch. It's ushering in this cooler air mass. Thunderstorm potential will exist behind it as well. So heads up for that. Could be some localized, some small stream and urban flooding associated also with that frontal system. Here we go through Friday. It does include Modesto, Stockton, Sacramento, and the Bay Area with some of this thunderstorm threat. Small hail, localized flooding, gusty winds, and lightning. Saturday does include the same areas here as well, a bit further south towards Bakersfield. And Sunday and Monday may include Southern California also. We'll be looking at those details over the next day or two. Taking a look at the Friday through Sunday snowfall forecast, and here's I-80. Watch out. Winter driving conditions incoming, starting 6 to 7, decreasing to 3,500 to 5,000 feet on Sunday. Watch out for chain controls, moderate impacts, and again, know before you go with the chain controls, restrictions. Winter storm watch for a lot of the Sierra Nevada here. And that they do talk about that here as well. 6 to 12 inches locally to 2 feet over the higher elevations. Wind gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. And the lowering snow levels by the time you get on in towards Saturday. Here we're looking at the composite reflectivity. This is what the Doppler radar may look like here over the next couple days. So you can see the thunderstorm potential not showing anything popping off over California. The first time in a while that we won't get any thunderstorm activity most likely as we go through this afternoon. But the next frontal system arriving by Friday morning here, it's going to have a little bit of a kick with it as well, bringing some moderate to heavy rainfall down across the Bay Area, the Central Coast. You can see it's probably going to be including Southern California this round also with the showery weather behind it. Thunderstorm potential will exist for the next few days. Taking a look at lightning flash density potential on the European model. So I want to show you as we scroll through the day tomorrow, you'll see some of this thunderstorm activity start to emerge here across some of the valley areas. And then as we go on in through Saturday, you'll notice something similar. We'll go through Sunday here as well, starts to include Southern California. And then on Monday, we're probably going to do something similar here as this continues to push off to the east. Yeah, so a pretty dynamic system rolling through the state here. Now, we'll get a look at that here at 500 millibars or 18,000 feet. Got the European on the left. Here's the GFS on the right. This is yesterday afternoon's run, but you see the pretty good agreement on the arrival of the initial system with the GFS and the European here. And then we keep things kind of trophy here a bit, maybe a little bit of inside slider there kind of coming down, not much. But then we get a little bit of a break, and then we get another round of systems. So you can see a little bit of difference in position and timing between the European and the GFS, but some dynamic storms looking possible here on through the extended forecast. Models continue to show this, but you see that's a big difference here between the GFS and the European. Anything that sets up further west like that is going to be a more dynamic storm, better moisture tap with that. Now, taking a look here at the 6-hour precipitation type, I want to show you the European's timing. Friday morning again, swooping down across the Bay Area, Central Coast as we go through Friday night into Saturday morning, probably bringing some precipitation across Southern California. Lots of cool, showery weather behind that. Continuing to pile up some of the mountain snow, thunderstorm threat as we go through Saturday afternoon. And then this precipitation just continuing on into the weekend, on into early next week before that system finally kicks out. And then we get kind of the inside slider rolling through here. And then we've got some additional systems off through the extended, some powerful frontal systems showing up in the European and the GFS the further out we look, but it's still fantasy right now, but it is an interesting signal, and both major models, the GFS and the European, have been showing it. So now taking a look at total snow, this is something fun to look at because we're just going to kind of scroll off through the extended. This one is pretty high confidence here. You can see the GFS on the right versus the European, the snowfall accumulating, and then we scroll off in towards next week. And you can see by the end of next week, we start to pile up the snow pretty well again as some interesting systems roll in here. I mean, both the European and the GFS show some pretty robust amounts across Northern California, down the Sierra Nevada, even some snow for Southern California at times, if you believe the European. So, it's still March. It's still acting like winter a little bit here as we look off into the fantasy forecast. We'll be breaking that down day by day. I don't want you to get caught up in those details too much just yet. We're kind of looking off into fantasy land at that point. Here's the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Below normal across much of the west. No surprise there. Above normal for precipitation, kind of bullseye right across some of California there. 8 to 14 day, much of the west below normal all the way through April 3rd, and the precipitation above normal as we go through April 3rd. So that would be very beneficial. You know, we could definitely use that snow on into early portions of April, some precipitation, maybe keep that fire season a little bit suppressed. Now, looking at that drought monitor, just kind of pointing this out there, California is below average, and we've been dealing with that for the last few months here, and it's just nice to see. It's something you're going to want to kind of cherish here because it's not always going to be like that. Here's a risk-heavy snow as we go through the end of March into early April as well, because it's Sierra Nevada with the Cascades and the Klamath Range there. Risk-heavy precipitation exists through the end of the month also. The Climate Prediction Center is on those systems potentially through our extended forecast, and even the risk for some winds as well as we go through the end of March. But yeah, anyway, we should be thunderstorm free. I balk at that a little bit here because I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple showers try to pop up again across the Sierra Nevada, maybe. But I mean, we've had a pretty good string of thunderstorm activity here across Southern California and up into the Sierra Nevadas over the last few days. So, but that should be coming to an end, and then the next system's going to roll in and bring in a completely new round of thunderstorm potential as we go through this weekend and on into the early portion of next week. So, hope you guys are liking these videos. We're going to do this again tomorrow, break everything down all over again, and I will talk to you guys then.